on to season 4, episode 3 of the Hall of Fame show, and I'm Kirk Buchner. I'm your host. And as with me as always is Evan Nolan, not just my co-host, but the co-owner of everything we do here in the Buchnerverse. We should call it the Nolan-averse. I don't know.
No, it's okay.
It's okay?
Buchnerverse is fine.
All right, I suppose, because I guess
The Nolan verse involves Christopher Nolan and The Dark Knight Rises and stuff, I think. So,
well, there you go. All right, so we don't want to get sued by them. So I guess the Buchnerverse it stays. Hold on.
sounds good.
Buchnerverse. And we run not.
We can't go up with that. We gotta go down.
There you go. Well, we run a lot. We run notinhallofFame.com, Fictitious Athlete Hall of Fame, and we're going to announce next week or 2 weeks from now. I don't know. The class of 2022 because, well, COVID made everyone have to stay at home. We'll run with that? Sure. Even though they're fictitious.
I mean, you know how hard it is getting these fictitious athlete schedules?
That's so true. Also, the fictitious Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It's really hard for them. But our favorite bastard child is the United States Athletic Hall of Fame, and you can all vote on that. www.notinhalloffame.com/USA. Vote now. Vote
maybe call it like our greatest creation and not the bastard child. I think that's let's
okay. Either way, it might involve some kind of visual that nobody wants.
Fair enough.
But it's something. Okay, it's our favorite creation. How about that? We have a favorite child.
100%. So,
yes. And hey, we got a sponsor, and I'm really excited because this sponsor is going to help me finally beat you. I lose bets to you all the time.
100%.
And I'm tired of losing bets. I'm sick and tired of it. And it's not because you're American and I'm Canadian. That's not why it is. It's
because you live in an apartment, I live in a house, and the house always wins.
That was really good. I thought that was very good. I thought I thought we were going that way. I'm like, damn, that's kind of pretentious, but that's not really nice.
Just occurred to me.
Yeah, but that's very good. I used to live in a house, though. When I was in Barbados, I still
I know
all the time.
I know. I'm just saying for now.
For now, this is
go back to the odd copy. I've derailed you. Continue.
Oh, that's okay. Well, I mean, yeah, well, I derailed myself. But let me tell you about BetStamp. And BetStamp sponsors us. And BetStamp is one of the coolest things that I've ever come across. So whenever you make a major purchase, like Evan, like the house you've got right now, you didn't just go with like one person, right? Like you checked out a whole bunch of things. Yeah. Well, if you are the premier bettor, you're going to do the exact same thing. So let's just say that the New England, you're thinking, okay, the Patriots are going to win it all next year.
Sure. Why not? Brady will come back and the magic will return. Sure.
Well, maybe you got a feeling. Maybe you know something that the rest of us don't. And then you're thinking, all right, what are the lines for the 2023 season? And then here's what BetStamp does. It takes all the lines that you're sort of already betting with. So let's see, it's BWin or 888bet or William Hill. Doesn't matter, whichever ones that you have. You're line shopping. Because if you feel that strong that the Pats are going to win it all in 2023, you can use this to just do a one-stop shop and say, all right, who's got the best line? Pretty good, right? I mean, in that sense, if that's what you're doing a lot. And I've used it a lot already. I've been sort of like playing also some because I'm a big fan of the Winnipeg Jets, so sometimes I get a feeling here. But here's the thing too, like if I don't always know, because I'm not the best bettor, we know this, we've established this, you and I. There are expert bettors that you can follow on BetStamp, and they're going to give you their tips. Also too, let's say that Patriots bet that you made, you think, I don't want to do it. You can sell that bet. Yeah, so like you can do so much with that. And BetStamp, it's unique. There's nothing else like it. And if you sign up, hey, I've got a promo code for you.
Ooh, exciting! What is it?
Buck, BUCK 25. Buck 25, because that's half my age, and I'm the Buck.
Fair enough.
Yes. Now, granted, my wife thinks that you look 25, which is depressing. But anyway.
Depressing for 25-year-olds. No, but we need the high-tech Buck 25 things that we had in our Tuesday night live stream. So
oh yeah, well, yeah, which I screwed that up anyway, but that was my fault.
Oh, anyway, so where are we this week? What's going on?
Okay, so as we get right into the Hall of Fame news, the biggest news, it's something that we don't cover, and I don't know if we ever will in terms of sort of like a regular list, but the Songwriters Hall of Fame, it's something that I'm fascinated by. They put out their class, and I
Mhm.
think that's a great place to open. Do you have like should I just read them off, like who it is, or should we just,
Yeah, so I mean, some of these I have much bigger opinions on than others.
I would imagine, yeah, me too.
I
Well,
mean, but let's start the headliners. So, who's the one you're most excited to see in
well,
here?
I'm just gonna go alphabetically because, like,
Let's do it. We can do it that way too.
yeah, because then I'll tell you who I'm most excited about personally. So we'll start off with Glenn Ballard. Ballard is best known for his work with Alanis, mostly on Jagged Little Pill. I didn't know that she had a co-writer. I mean, I think I did, but it slipped my mind.
Well,
So
well, you ought
next
to
time
know.
I ought to know. And next time I say that she doesn't know what irony is, maybe it was him. He
No,
also
come
wrote a
on.
bunch.
There's nothing more ironic than 10,000 spoons, my friend. Nothing.
uh, he also wrote a Space Between, or co-wrote with Dave Matthews, and a lot of Wilson Phillips hits. I didn't know that.
Really?
Yeah. So
Hmm.
hold on. This is about kind of addiction. So he was a big part of that. So congratulations to Glenn Ballard. That's a pretty big deal.
Mhm.
One that I'll admit I'm not that excited about because I don't care for her music, but she's here. Gloria Estefan.
Oh, come on, baby. Do that conga. No,
I hate
seriously.
that. Okay, I hate that goddamn. I hate that song. Never ends. If it goes on the radio, it's God damn it. Anyway, but a lot of
I,
people love her.
I kind of love her, and
Really?
I'm still haunted by the idea that the rhythm is going to get me someday, no matter where I go. So,
Wow. Okay, I didn't know that you were a fan of Miss
yeah, of
Estefan.
course.
Okay, well, look at that. Well,
Come
we
on.
disagree again.
I listen to more Latin music than anybody you know, by far.
Okay, I got nothing to combat that.
I spend all day every day basically at work with Pandora because I'm old as opposed to Spotify. But
Mhm.
my Pandora station for Bajo Fondo, which is an Argentine tango band, tango group.
There you
I
go.
listen to Latin music basically all day, every day. It's sort of tango club music, so it's Argentine, French, and Brazilian uh, lyrics, but also it branches out into some more things like Gloria Stefan. So
Okay.
I'm
So, and if you think Evan is sort of like not truthful in this, wait till you see him get agitated if I wear a Boca Junior shirt.
oh god,
Damn,
yeah. So
I wish that was live. Oh well.
I do too, just for the gifability.
There you
So
go. So Jeff Lynne, pretty much the guy who was, be blunt, Electric Light Orchestra.
yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Electric Light Orchestra, and of course, the other guy, as everyone always says, in the Traveling Wilburys, even though he got to sing a lot more than Bob Dylan. Um,
He was sort of the fifth Beatle in that group, wasn't he?
he was, except that he was one of the main writers too in
Hmm.
that group.
Yeah.
Most of those songs were Petty, Harrison, and Jeff Lynne. So one of those things like when ELO finally got nominated years ago, you're like, well, they're just getting in. I'm surprised that Jeff Lynne wasn't in the Songwriters Hall of Fame already.
Right. Here's one I'm kind of like a lot. Teddy Riley did a lot of everything in the New Jack Swing era. Pretty much if Keith Sweat had the hit, chances are Teddy Riley was behind it. But his biggest hit was Bobby Brown's "My Prerogative."
Mm-hmm.
Love that song.
Yeah, one of the great uh, Boston artists, Bobby Brown.
Mhm.
Yeah,
All right, so Liz Rose, this is the one I don't know the most about, but she apparently was responsible or co-responsible for a lot of Taylor Swift's early work. Uh, Also did a song or wrote a song that I kind of like. And I apologize, I don't remember the name of the country band, but "Girl Crush."
yeah, I've heard of that one, but I can't. I'm not good at country. That one I can't. That one I can't help you with.
Yeah, all good. So you asked me before who I was most excited about, and this is the answer to that. That's Sade.
Ah, yes, more. I would say approximately one quarter of my high school class was conceived to Sade.
What's my counter to that? I got
It's
nothing.
actually that's actually not true. I'm too old
No,
for
no,
that.
that can't be true. Wait a minute, I
No,
know
no,
what.
I'm too old for that. I was just wanted to say it.
Yeah,
But I mean, yeah,
but
she
it ended up there, coast to coast, LA to Chicago.
true, but I was in that.
Ah,
There you go. I mean, it's geographically dubious. LA, one coast, yes. Chicago, on the coast, but of a lake. So
coast.
true.
I
So
mean, this is just like I live here on Mount Manitoba.
that is true. But I mean, smooth operator and pretty much everything she does is fantastic. She is someone who is a dark horse candidate to me to make the Rock Hall in the next 5 years. There seems to be a lot of momentum building behind her
Mhm.
getting in. So it wouldn't surprise me if the next 5 she's in the Rock Hall as well as this. This probably helps. I mean, it certainly doesn't hurt.
Sure. No, it definitely doesn't hurt. And finally, okay, so let's stick with this here with this theme. Does this help our final candidate or inductee, Snoop Dogg?
I mean, Snoop is already overlooked. He's been eligible what for 2 years now? Is this
Yeah, a few years. Uh, and I've
the,
said, go ahead.
I was going to say the thing about hip hop is they tend to only do one group at a time, and one person can get in. And so it was Eminem, and then before that, who was it the year before? They keep putting one at a
Was it
time in.
NWA the year before?
Yeah, NWO isn't quite the year before. I can't remember off the top of my head,
Okay.
but they keep doing one at a time. At this point, you got to figure Snoop and Dre, Tribe Called Quest, and who's the other ones they did? Uh, there's one other who I'm just completely blanking on. Are the I should pull this up. I do have a spreadsheet for this reason. But they've got to be the ones. Eminem just was the person they're putting everything behind last year. It's just that's the way it goes.
As it should have been.
Yeah. So I this does it help? I'm sure it helps. Yeah, of course it does.
The only thing with Snoop, and I've said this before, I'll say this again here. I wonder openly the fact that this guy will, I think he'll sell Tampax if you ask him to. You know,
but but he somehow does it without being uncool.
I, I, I don't know. Like,
I
he's
don't
the
know.
only one who can get away with this. I don't know. I don't think there's anything he wouldn't take money for. I really believe that.
Who do you think has a lower price, him or Shaq?
Uh, I don't know.
It was
Uh,
it was Jay-Z the year before, by the way.
okay.
Yeah, it's a good question.
Okay. Well, okay, I think they might both have the same price.
Mm,
Just who's got the lower threshold. Okay, so let's say the price is 10 million.
hmm
And so let's just play name that product.
I
You know, nothing against
mean,
movies.
I have to say that Snoop's products have higher profile, I would say, than the general.
Guess.
I don't know.
But then he also appeared in that really bad show. I get that a lot.
Mm,
Which is where celebrities would just like do regular things, and then just people would come up
mm.
just to see if they would recognize them.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Yeah, so I don't know. I feel like Snoop would. I don't know. That's a damn good question. Like, what's the worst product that either could endorse? That
Could or
makes no
has.
sense. Hmm?
Could endorse or has endorsed.
Could.
Could endorse.
Yeah.
Snoop would have to be something anti-pot, which would make any sense.
All right. Okay. So basically, who could be bought for that Family Guy thing? That's why pot is bad.
I don't think it would take that much for Shaq. So
That's true.
anyway, so
Okay.
we're
So
way
yeah.
off
Okay. So
topic.
yeah.
We
So
are way off topic.
Snoop doing that, and then Shaq doing monogamy.
Oh. Okay.
We love them both. Don't get us wrong.
That's true.
But I also can be bought. I will shill things.
Hmm.
I earlier did, but I really like this product. I think it's pretty damn cool.
Yeah.
That wasn't the best follow up I could have done for our sponsor, but anyway, I digress. I move on.
All
Uh,
right.
shall we
Well,
go? We lost a few people, huh?
we did. So let's go into that here. Hold on, let me clear out this. Um, so we did, of course, lose the beige mistress was active again.
Oh no! All right, tell
Darren
everyone who that is.
Beige Mistress, for those of you who are new, is I noticed when we started doing this a few years ago that we had a whole bunch of Hungarian athletes dying, like an abnormal number of them. And so we thought it was a weird serial killer. By the way, we just saw this. Well, I'll get to that in a second.
Mm-hmm.
And we thought the Black Widow was too much for it, so we came up with a Beige Mistress.
Well,
I
we
will
didn't
say
want to get sued by the MCU either.
that's also true. I do want to say though, I think it's very possible we have a serial killer here in Chicago that's just getting away with stuff because they keep having random people showing up in the Chicago River, like an abnormal number of them.
Lori Lightfoot does look like she could be an MCU villain. Just saying. I'm not saying she did it. I'm just not saying she didn't.
Well, we shall see. It's a lot of stuff going on. But anyway, Beige Mistress is most recent victim, Ferenc Varga, who won the bronze medal in the 52 Olympic Games in the canoe sprint. Passed away at the age of 97. Okay, could have just been old age, but regardless, it's I'm clearly
We're not saying we just need to cast that person. That's just the only thing we do. I think I said Florence Pugh, and then I realized before that or after I said that she's actually in the MCU,
mm,
uh, playing something against the Black Widow. So maybe that's where I
could have been.
subconsciously, yeah.
All right. So in the world of royalty, we lost the last king of Greece, Constantine II. Now, why do I care that the last king of Greece, Constantine II, who was forced to abdicate the throne in 1973 when they destroyed the monarchy in Greece? Because he also won the gold medal in the 1960 Olympics in yachting.
There's something about yachting athletes. I put that in quote. Obviously, there's not a big pool of you.
Well, if a big pool would be enough for a yacht anyway. So,
well done.
Thank you. But no, so Constantine II passed away at the age of, let's see, he was born in 1940, so passed away at the age of 82. Mm. We had a couple of journalists pass away. Virginia Craft Payson, who was a thoroughbred race owner and also the first ever woman to write for Sports Illustrated, passed away at the age of 92. She wrote under the name of Virginia Craft for 26 years, starting in 1954.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So she passed away at the age of 92. We also lost Hall of Fame basketball broadcaster, the Shawns, Bill Shonley, who was the play-by-play guy for the Trailblazers for 28 years. Won the Kurt Gowdy Award in 2012. The Kirk County Media Award for the Basketball Hall of Fame in 2012. So it was an inductee there. Also inducted the Oregon Sports Hall of Fame for broadcasting. He passed away at the age of 93.
So he must have called when the Blazers won it all, I guess.
Yes, he was there. He was there 70 to 98. So he was there through the Blazers' second run that would have been that team that was so good, but just not good enough to beat Jordan. I mean, that Drexler, Duckworth, like that team was super duper good. Staying in basketball here, we lost Cincy Powell, two-time ABA All-Star and ABA second team in 1968, passed away at the age of 80. Actually, cousin to Colin Powell.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, he was 80 years old. He was originally drafted by the St. Louis Hawks in the 65 draft. Couldn't make the team, but played for the Chaparrals, Kentucky Colonels, Utah Stars and Virginia Squires. Also a member of the University of Portland Athletic Hall of Fame.
Okay. So staying in Oregon.
Staying in Oregon, yes. Then not staying in Oregon, Chris Ford. Almost all the former coaches of the Boston Celtics are passing away. Member of the championship 1981 Celtics team, two-time NBA champion as an assistant coach in 84 and 86. Member of the Pistons from 72 to 78, Celtics from 78 to 82. Also coached the Milwaukee Bucks, the Clippers, and the Brandeis University, actually, up in Boston. Passed away at the age of 74.
Oh, so he's much older than I thought. Yeah, because I
Yeah,
remember
he'd had a heart attack
okay.
and was in the hospital for a while and passed away from complications. From water polo, which is not something we talk about much, two-time silver medalist for the U.S. national team in Los Angeles and Seoul, Peter Campbell, passed away at the age of 62.
Not of drowning, right?
No, he did not pass from drowning. We did actually lose a soccer player from a boating accident, though.
Oh, okay.
Where is that? It has evaporated on me. There it is. Anton Wilkes of Charlotte FC died at the age of 25 in a boating accident in Miami. So grew up in the English soccer system, came on loan to Atlanta United originally over here, and then stayed in the MLS before passing away. He's an original member of the Atlanta FC team. Also passing away from WWE, Jay Briscoe at the age of 38.
Not WWE.
Oh, I'm sorry, not WWE. I apologize.
Yeah, no, it's okay. Do we have a few more after this?
We do.
Okay. There's a lot on this one.
Just go ahead, spend the time.
Yeah, Jay Briscoe is probably the best wrestler you've never seen. And a big, like, before we went on, we were debating whether we were going to talk, and watch, I was happy we weren't talking Ivan Provorov, frankly. Jay Briscoe, and the reason why I bring up Provorov is Briscoe, who was 38, 30, or about to be 39, like, incredible wrestler. Everyone loved him, everybody. But 10 years ago, he made a really stupid tweet.
Okay.
I won't say what the tweet was, but it's right up there with what Tim Hardaway did.
Got it.
And after that, much like Hardaway, he learned, adjusted, and changed his thought process to the point where some of the biggest tributes that happened after he passed were from LGBT wrestlers and some very far left thinkers. Briscoe never got a chance to be on national television or WWE or AEW because of that tweet. No one would take a shot at him or his brother. And I think it goes sort of like back where it's bothers me a bit where we're all going to screw up. We're all going to say something stupid. We're all going to think something stupid. But if there's no path of redemption, we're not doing people any favor to try to get better.
I mean, there's always, that's the thing with a lot of these people who have been canceled. There's always a path to redemption. Hardaway is a very, very good example of that, right?
Which he did, yeah, absolutely. Because
100%, there's a path to redemption. But yeah, I mean, yeah, just I'll let you finish.
No, I mean, no, that's actually really where that goes. So like when he passed away, so like he was working for Ring of Honor, which was bought by AEW, which is on the Turner Broadcasting Network. Now they're holding so strict to that they wouldn't even let the tribute to him air. Meanwhile, the show that was right after was Dana White's Power Slap.
Yeah, where someone got hit so hard there in the concussion position, you know, where your hands clench up and in front of you.
Right.
Yeah.
And again, by Dana White, who a lot of people don't like him. I would have mad respect for him, but we all know what he did if you that it was on camera. His
Mhm.
wife slapped him and he slapped her back, which you don't do. And
Mhm.
by his own words, you don't do stuff like that. It doesn't matter. Again, sort of like repercussions for thee, but not for me.
Right, 100%.
Which was a bullshit thing to do. So, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. So, yeah, this I was not aware how much the wrestling community loved this guy.
Well, that was the thing. It's trending on Twitter, RIP legend, when he passed away. And it's like, who is this person?
Mm. Yeah, like I think I sort of like set that up. I mean, because like you're a casual wrestling fan, so that's why I think I said like best wrestler.
I am very less than I am a casual adjacent wrestling fan. I'm very far down.
Yes,
I'll, I'll flip
but
through and see if I'll flip through and see if my
you were in
friends
a band. You were in a band with a future WWE Hall of Famer, and I am not.
Yeah, well, that is true. I will flip through and see if Kofi is on TV, and that is the extent of my wrestling. Although I do enjoy the Royal Rumble, so
Yes. Yeah.
I will watch a Royal Rumble every year, and that is as much wrestling as I will do.
Right. Yeah. So like yeah, Jay Briscoe, that was for that community a pretty big deal. And yeah, just I think that's what bothered me the most is God, like if there's no ever path for anybody who screws up, then
So what do we do?
yeah, well, yeah, you're just pigeonholing people forever. You're not ending bigotry. You're feeding it.
I mean, I would say the same thing about people who are in prison to make sure there's a pipeline back to society there as well.
I agree with you. Total, a
Yeah.
1000%. Yes.
Which
Yes.
we have somehow completely forgotten about as well. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
But anyway, sorry.
it always drives me crazy. They have the inmates in California fighting those forest fires, and have
I
tons
didn't
of
know that.
yeah. They have inmates out there with the forest fires, and then they get out of prison and they can't put that as any relevant experience on their to become
Whoa.
by law. They're not allowed to mention it. Like, there's nobody. If like, first of
That's
all, the fact they're
insane.
doing it
I
is
didn't know
nuts.
that.
Yeah, that's what there's. We have a whole TV show about it right now called
What TV show is this? I want to watch that.
I don't know. It's Fire something. It's on one of the networks. I haven't watched it.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Send it to me
Um,
after if you find that. Because
yeah, I'll find
yeah.
it. But yeah, I mean, like, hey, they have a job. They've done something beneficial for society. Good thing we can screw them over now and not make sure their criminal records are out there and they can never get hired to help us with this in the future and actually get paid for it. Like, there has to be redemption, the ability to redemption, but there also redemption just doesn't come because you've been gone for a while. Redemption requires active steps to try and improve yourself.
Right. And that's from everything I learned or that from all the tributes coming through. Apparently, Jay did that.
Yeah.
And
Well, I don't know enough about him to say something one way or another, but if that's true, then yeah,
that's what
he was killed.
Yeah.
He was killed when a car crossed the center line when he was driving with his kids in the back, head-on collision.
Driving his kids to cheerleading practice, and apparently, I just learned this actually before we went on, listening to another show, because there are other shows than this. I don't know why you'd listen to it, but there are.
Why waste your time?
Yeah, the whole district that he lived in, Sandy Fork, Delaware, the school shut down for the day in honor.
Mm, yeah.
So clearly, he was a great guy. Just had some archaic thoughts regarding LGBT 10 years ago that he was dumb enough to put on Twitter.
Yeah, but there were threats involved. I read what it was when you're talking. There were threats involved. So I mean, yeah, I understand
Yeah.
it was dumb, but like it's one thing to be like, I don't like gay people. It's another thing to be like, I don't like gay people, and if I see one, I'm going to shoot them.
No, he didn't say that. He said if you teach gay marriage to my kids, I'm going to shoot them. I don't know if that's any better, but
okay, regardless.
okay, regardless, it was a stupid ass thing to say. But the LGBT wrestlers, I couldn't find one negative thing from any of them.
Fair
There's
enough.
quite a few. There's not just, it's not like the NHL where apparently there's none. Apparently, I put in air quotes for those just listening. There's a hell of a lot in pro wrestling now. But anyway, but yeah, that was just sort of the only rant I wanted to do. Just like, God damn it, like let people redeem. Like he probably cost himself millions of dollars with that.
Possibly. So
Anyway, go ahead.
moving on, from the NHL, Gino Odjick passed away at
Yeah,
the age of 52. Um,
big deal out in Western Canada. Like a big enforcer out for the Canucks. In more of a time when your teams usually had somebody like that, but like I've been reading so much too as I've been working on my other awards section, right? And when you read about all these, like how
goons,
many times, like,
goons for but lack of a better word.
oh, I was going to say that. I was actually going to use that word. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you like, these are the guys, except for Ty Domi, who's a real dipshit. But anyway, uh, these are the guys who will turn it, have that on and off switch that most of us can't really understand. I mean, we can to a point, but like when I was looking at like the King Clancy Award which is the NHL award for philanthropy and just being a great guy,
Mm-hmm.
you'll see goons who have won that, which is not
Mm-hmm.
what you would sort of think. I don't know. We know what he passed away from?
It didn't say.
Okay.
I mean,
And
I can tell you though, like guys like Sean Thornton is the guy who played for the Sharks and the Bruins for
yeah,
years.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Like Sean Thornton was as important to that 2011 team that won the Stanley Cup as anybody. And the reason a lot of players feel like, or a lot of fans here feel like we lost the Stanley Cup to the Blues was we didn't have anybody like Thornton on that team. Like
Mhm.
we needed someone who was good enough to be there because you don't want just a guy who's going to collect 3 goals in 82 games. You know what I mean? Like Thornton was a close 15 goals scorer, but good enough to be there. But if anybody got hit on that team, they would just drop it and make sure everything got cleaned up.
Right.
Um,
And yeah,
it's it's
and
a
more than
thankless job.
yeah.
It's not like those hotheads just trying to fight anybody. They're basically enforcing the rules that the refs won't. It's kind of like the unwritten rules in baseball, where if you hit a homer, I can hit you with a pitch, which is dumb. That's kind of hockey's version of it. So
Darren McCarty.
Darren McCarty is another good example.
Only he could score.
Yeah, Stu Grimson is another guy that comes to
Oh,
mind.
yeah,
The late greats.
yeah. So I mean, like, it's really unfortunate too because no, we always sort of like. I don't know if anyone's sort of like done a study on this, but I know they have obviously in football, like oh, football players die sooner.
Mm-hmm.
I'll bet you if they look at goons,
Yeah, probably.
it has to be, and it's one of those ultimate sacrifices, and it's a way that a lot of quality, like decent hockey players, manage to find a niche in the league.
Grimson was 57, by the way. I just
Okay,
looked.
yeah. So, yeah, that one, I guess, just being back in Canada and just sort of like seeing some of the love that was pouring out in Vancouver. So, like, that
Yeah,
was a pretty big deal here. But anyway,
yeah.
sorry, I'm interrupting you a lot.
No. Hey, this is a thing. Like this is the go, not just run through it. If there's somebody who
yeah.
is worthy of something, we should definitely take some time.
Mhm.
Talk about people with thankless jobs. Professional football player Ed Beard, who played for the 49ers from 65 to 72, passed away at the age of 83. Ed Beard was the first of his kind in pro football history. What was it?
Long snapper.
He was the first ever special teams captain
Oh, okay.
in
Wasn't
the
that far off.
not that far off. He was a linebacker, ended up coaching after he retired with the Saints, and then was actually defensive coordinator for the Lions for a while.
Okay.
Passed away at the age of 83. From baseball, we lost a couple of folks. Probably better known for his off the field than on the field. Ted Savage passed away at the age of 85. Ted played for a lot of teams during his career. I'm going to take a minute on him. So he played from 62 to 71. He played for the Phillies, Pirates, Cardinals, Cubs, Dodgers, Reds, Brewers, and Royals. He's been a kind of an ambassador for the Cardinals over the last while here. But more importantly, he has been one of the major people for RBI, which is the Reviving Baseball in Inner Cities program,
Oh,
trying to
okay.
get baseball programs up and running across the country. It's been more his thing. He's been wearing Cardinals hat while doing it, but he's really doing the work of the MLB
Mhm.
for it. It was one of the driving forces behind it. But he passed away at the age of 85.
That's sort of the thing. We talk about that all the time. And baseball, for whatever reason, well, and I think there's a big reason
For a
again.
lot of reasons. But
Well, I
yeah.
think there's, yeah, but I mean, it's two middle-aged white guys. It's hard for us to like. I can't obviously speak on why it's plummeting in the African American community, other than just my eye test, which is it's not cool anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like there was a lot of poor black kids who from the inner cities who managed to get to the majors. What are they doing now? They're not playing baseball.
They're playing basketball, football, and other sports.
Right. Yeah, and because
African American participation among particularly men in soccer is booming.
oh, is it okay
Yeah,
in the U.S. Obviously, the U.S.
booming. They have a problem on the women's side, but on the men's side, it's booming.
Why do you
So
think that is?
I don't know. They had a whole thing on that the U.S. women's team is trying to figure that out right now.
Hmm.
So
Well, I guess they're just not playing soccer.
yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
So also passed away from baseball, the other Frank Thomas, the elder Frank Thomas, the outfielder for the Pirates, Reds, Cubs, Braves, Mets, Phillies, Astros, Braves again, and Cubs again, who's three-time All-Star in 54, 55, and 58.
Ooh,
Passed away at the age of 93.
yeah, I remember that name. Yeah.
Yeah, he actually was before he joined baseball a little bit late because he spent 4.5 years in a seminary in Niagara Falls, trained to become a Roman Catholic priest.
That
Then
I
this
did not know.
that then decided he didn't like it anymore and just became a professional baseball player for the next, how many years did he play? The next 15 years.
That's a movie of the week or something,
Yeah.
or
I
maybe
mean,
not.
two, one of those never going to make the Hall of Fame, but 266 career hitter, 286 homers, 962 ribbies. That's a pretty good guy to have on your team.
Of course.
A someone you want in your lineup on a regular basis.
Hmm.
So, yeah. So passed away at the age of 93. Most of the rest of these are music, but we have one left outside of music. Robbie Knievel passed away at the age of 60. I mean, his dad's probably better known. Evil. I mean, there's
Of
no
course, yeah.
Evil is better known,
It's
but
only the best name ever.
Evil Knievel is, yeah, pretty darn good. Um, you
Best
know, I,
real name ever, I should say.
yeah, I was almost named Evelyn myself. I've told you
Really?
this before. Yeah, my dad. So I'm named after my dad's. My grandfather on my dad's side was no way around this kind of a piece of shit, and but my grandmother's sister lived across the street. Her sister Evelyn, and my dad used to retreat across the street to his aunt and uncle Evie and Dick Meyenborg, and they kind of raised him. So she had just passed away 2 or 3 years before I was born, and so he wanted to name a kid after her, and so he was going with Evelyn, and my mother convinced him that if she called me Evelyn, I would never speak to him, and so Evan was a compromise name. So there you go.
I mean, I was named after a television character. I always told my wife, and I guess maybe that's why we never had a kid. We're going to name our kid after a beloved television character.
Sulu.
Chauncey Buchner never came to fruition.
Nice.
Yeah.
But Evil was, the greatest daredevil of all time. Super Dave Osborne, of course, as well. But Robbie took over as much as he could in his father's footsteps. And didn't live as long as his dad. It's amazing how old his dad was when he passed away, but he passed away of pancreatic cancer at the age of 60 in
Mm.
Nevada. So you're a daredevil. I feel if I was dying of pancreatic cancer as a daredevil, I just want to go out on one last jump. You know what I mean?
I wonder if you thought about it.
I don't know. No, just wonder, jump out of an airplane without a parachute just so you know what it feels like to free fall. I don't know. So Wile E. Coyote into the Grand Canyon. But anyway, so all right, everything else I have here is for music. So we're gonna start. Oh, I'm sorry, there's one boxer left. Gary Coetzee, who was
Oh yeah.
I missed that one. heavyweight champion
Sorry.
from WBA 83 to 84, passed away at the age of 67. Went 33-6-1 in his career.
Yeah, South African, if I remember right.
Correct.
Yeah, one of those few. Well, I think that's when I would have been 11, so I wasn't quite aware of apartheid and all that other shit that was going on there. But
Right.
uh, yeah, Jerry Coetzee, he was decent. Didn't he fight Larry Holmes? I think at some point.
He beat Michael Dokes for the title and then lost to Greg Page. So not exactly the.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Uh,
that's when that's right around the time that almost all these other splinter things sort of like came, and we're still there today.
yeah. He did beat Leon Spinks
Uh,
TKO in 79.
yeah, but at that point, Leon Spinks was a big fluke. He
Yeah, I'm just going with the names. I'm looking at his record. I'm not the biggest boxing thing, but most of these names don't mean anything to me. So
mhm.
from this era.
I do remember him when I first started watching boxing, like as a name. Not that I probably never watched a fight, but I do remember the name of his name for
So
what it's worth. But yeah.
okay, so now we're going to music for the rest of this. So member of the Rockabilly Hall of Fame, Johnny Powers, who's born John Leon Joseph Mooney, passed away at the age of 84. He actually started recording as John Mooney and wasn't doing very well. And he was sitting with a recording session with someone who's eating a power bar, or so what's it called? I can't remember. I can't see what it was. It said you should just go by Johnny Powers instead. A Powerhouse candy bar, and he said you should go by Johnny Powers instead. And actually, in 1960, signed on to Motown with Berry Gordy, becoming the first white male musician to do so.
Good thing he wasn't having a granola bar.
Yeah, Johnny Granola.
Why not? Yeah.
Yeah, so member of Rockabilly Hall of Fame, as I said, was 84 years old. Uh, the bass player for the Screaming Trees, Van Connor, passed away at
No.
the age of 55 from pneumonia.
Oh, I missed that one.
Yeah.
I saw them play a couple times.
Yeah. So, yeah, pneumonia killed him at the age of 55.
Hmm.
So, um, from one of the Philadelphia Soul movement, Kevin Beaton of Blue Magic, who I don't know if you've ever seen Blue Magic or their outfits.
I've not.
Like, imagine
Is it
if
blue?
Blue Magic.
Okay.
Imagine if you had male equivalents to the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders.
No. All right.
Instead of
I don't want to imagine that.
just having blue stripes, you had like one of those 80s portrait backgrounds for the stripes instead. But Blue Magic had a few hits back then. Sideshow, Spell, What's Come Over Me, Three Ring Circus, Stop to Start, things like that in the 70s. But one of their founding members, Keith Beaton, passed away at the age of, hold on a second, 72. Also passing away, someone who had a lot of hits in Australia and none really over here, Renee Geyer, member of, it's say jazz, soul, and R&B over there. Career from 1970 to just up until she died. Passed away at the age of 69. Honestly, one of the longest Wikipedia articles for someone I've never heard of in my life.
Okay.
Just a member of the ARIA Hall of Fame, a member of a whole bunch of other Hall of Fames out of Australia, released 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16 albums and had 7 number ones in either Australia or New Zealand during her career.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's pretty big.
She passed away of 69. Member of, you don't really want to be American Idol alumni from what I could tell. CJ Harris passed away at the age of 31, who's about the 5th or 6th of them who's passed away in the last year or so. He passed away of a heart attack. He finished 6th back in 2014.
A heart attack at 31?
Heart attack at 31.
Okay, damn.
Yeah. And then the two biggest names in music who passed away, Robbie Bachman, the drummer for Bachman Turner Overdrive, the younger brother of what can I say, Rusty Bachman, right?
No.
Randy Bachman.
Randy Bachman, yeah.
Sorry, I had the R and the Y and everything else got screwed in my head. Randy Bachman.
You went with Rusty? You
Yeah,
got the
I don't.
R and the Y right and went with Rusty.
I was watching. In my defense, I was watching Christmas Vacation a couple
Fair,
nights.
oh, fair enough. Yes. Sorry.
Uh,
Yep.
yeah. So he passed away at the age of 69. I didn't see a cause of death, but he uh, was inducted to the Canadian Music Hall of Fame in
Mhm.
2014 with the rest of Bachman Turner Overdrive.
New Year's Eve, because I my lovely, beautiful wife, she works in the hospitality industry. So across from, we didn't do anything New Year's Eve because she had to work. So I was at the hotel. I got to stay at the hotel.
Mhm.
So across from where we were staying, and I say we because it was not just myself, it's also Winnie was there too. So
Yes.
yes, yes, and if you're just listening, it's Winnie, the wonderful mini Dachshund, who is just waving here on camera. But it was Burton Cummings' 75th birthday party too, because
Oh,
he was
okay.
born on New Year's Eve. So they woke everyone. They woke Pauline up. I was already half drunk, so because they were wishing him a happy birthday. I wonder if he would have been there, because like also another time too. We saw Randy Bachman at the hotel, the Fairmont Hotel in Edmonton when we were checking in, and he was kind of getting upset because everyone was paying attention to Jasper, who was still a puppy, my little bit corgi. While there was somebody trying to like check in Randy, they
Mhm.
all sort of like left their desk to look at my baby corgi. Yeah,
That's funny.
yeah. And then I said to
Only
Randy, like, like that? That's Randy Bachman. And she goes, "Who's that?" I said, like, taking care of business. What's that? Okay, just trust me, he's pretty big here. I'll leave it at that.
he's big in Canada. So
Yes,
yeah.
just not big at that hotel with an all Filipino staff.
Understandable.
Yeah.
They're more journey people. So
Wow. Well done. That's good.
see what happens when I don't have to work that day. My brain works so much better.
Holy crap, Evan. I mean, like, this is sometimes I tee you up knowing you're going to hit a long ball, but when you sort of like knock out a knuckleball that's sort of like far and away, like, that's so impressive.
Thank you.
You're
All right.
welcome.
And then our biggest name by far who passed
By
away this
far.
week, David Crosby. Just by the way, there have only been 26 people who've been inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame twice.
Mm-hmm.
We've lost two of them within this month with now Jeff Beck and now David Crosby.
Oh yeah. Wow.
Um, but David Crosby, one of the great, I mean, voices. I mean, he had a weirdly distinctive voice, but like it was one of those ones that would on its own it sounded a little bit strange, but when he put it in a harmony, it was
Mm-hmm.
fantastic. Probably
And,
just as well known for his mustache as his singing,
mm-hmm.
among other things. Um, it was actually weird. I saw a picture of him with the Birds from 1966,
Right.
I think.
And you
He
can't.
had no mustache. I would not have picked him out. It was weird.
Yeah, same. The exact same. Crosby to me, and all right, this is so morbid, but I don't think I'm really talking out of turn here. If we were to have done like a Deadpool in 1980, Crosby should not still be alive.
If you did a Deadpool when the movie Deadpool came out,
Well, yes, yeah, because David Crosby has cheated death for a long, long time, based
Mhm.
on his own mistakes, which he would have been the first to tell you. But you know, in terms of a celebration of who he was, uh, Crosby, Stills, and Nash, and then later Young, and then later not Young, iconic as work with the Birds, completely valid two-time Hall of Famer. Not all of them are. Huge fan. Uh, Never got to see them play live. So I guess that's a bit of a regret for me.
Mhm.
That was sort of like a never done. But all around great guy from what you've heard. Just had some demons,
Yep.
but
And yeah, he is his their song Southern Cross is probably the song I've been happily drunk to more than any other song in
really,
my life. Yeah, it was a thing with all of us down in DC.
mm-hmm.
we had a guy who went bar to bar named Kevin James, not that Kevin James, an
Yeah.
Irish Kevin James, who used to play Irish drinking songs and then other things, but Southern Cross kind of became the thing at our school. And I have been Southern Cross is just I sing it to my kids at bedtime actually, but Southern Cross is just like we're chilling out and having a good time song, if that makes sense.
Whatever works. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're so much
But
cooler
yeah,
than mine. My drunken song was Macarena, only because I couldn't believe this was on.
ala tu puedes para alegría Macarena, que tú puedes bajar para alegría cosa buena. Ala tu puedes para alegría Macarena, Macarena.
Oh,
That song is so dirty. Like the
I
Spanish
know it is.
are dirty.
I know.
The
But
English version is so sanitized.
here's how I know, because certain other show, How the Hell Did This Go #1, covered it.
Oh my god, that song is filthy.
Ah, you should have been
And,
on
and,
that
and
one.
we have like all these middle-aged white moms. So
Mm.
anyway. Yeah, but back to David Crosby. Just universal again with Jeff Beck, with the same thing. Just universal acclaim for one of the great one of the define people who defined music in the last century.
Agreed.
Helped define music last century.
Absolutely.
So by the way, there are 26 members of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. At least twice. We have 25, and then of course Eric Clapton's in 3 times. Can you name the only 2 of those 26 who were elected in the first year of eligibility both times? That's a good trivia question.
Oh, crap.
One is still alive and one is famously dead.
Sam Cooke?
Nope. After Sam Cooke.
Just tell me.
John Lennon.
Okay.
With the Beatles and as a solo artist. And Dave Grohl.
Oh.
With Nirvana and the Foo Fighters.
Right. Yeah.
And then Stephen Stills is the only person who's been inducted twice on the same day.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so he was inducted. Stephen Stills was inducted in 1997 with both Buffalo Springfield and Crosby, Stills, and Nash.
Damn.
Yeah.
Man, so, everyone look what's going around.
Yeah. Thank you to our friends at Future Rock Legends who have a fantastic site. I just want to throw that out there. They help me all the time with all the stuff they have there. So thank you to those guys. So anyway.
With that, I'm just going to promote something else that you're going to be part of, by the way, which is sort of inspired by a bit of that, by our friend Nick Bombach.
Oh yeah. When is it starting?
Oh yeah, so you already know what it is. Yeah, so it's pretty soon. So like we're going to be doing the Pro Football Hall of Fame revisited. Same idea.
Yep.
And the Pro Football Hall of Fame started in 1963. We are going to look at
probably about a decade at least too late.
Exactly. So we're going to do a first class as of 1950. We're soliciting people to be part of the voting body. It's not going to be that hard for us to solicit because of the people who are following us now. So that's going to be done probably in the next couple of weeks. Jack Silverstein is going to be a big part of that. Follow him at Read Jack, and Vinny Lospinuso is going to be running the seniors committee. As
yeah, like there's anybody else you would trust to run the seniors committee.
There's nobody I trust more than Vinny on this one. And I say that with no sarcasm whatsoever in my voice. I hope that comes out that way. I've never met somebody that young, that much into sports history.
100%. 100%. And some of his ideas, I'm not gonna lie, are a little bit off the wall. But the fact that
I agree.
Vinny would agree with this as well at a certain level.
Yeah.
But the fact that he cares that much, just the work we do would not be the same without either Vinny or Jack.
Absolutely. Yeah.
They are very important parts of what we do. So thank you to both you guys.
For sure. So at this point, I've got a pretty quick one because this is where we're going to elevator up, elevator down.
Elevator up, elevator down.
For those who are new, it's a pretty simple idea. Whoever sort of like had a great week goes elevator up on their Hall of Fame trajectory, and those who didn't have elevator down. Sometimes I have a lot, sometimes I don't. I only have one player for elevator down. I didn't tell you who it was
You did
because
not.
no, yeah, because usually we just try to make sure that we're not overlapping because sometimes we do on your
Yeah. Well, I mean, last week the WWE one we had to overlap because it was the biggest story of the week.
right, right. All right, so this one I'm going back to the pro football playoffs and playoffs. I'm just trying to win a game. Sorry.
I thought we weren't talking Colts coaches today.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I suppose. Ooh, well done. Yes.
Yeah.
A flashback that only Evan and I will know before we sort of like got on our show. But I'm going with Joey Bosa.
Ooh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, four-time Pro Bowler. Was not going to add a fifth one because of injury, whatnot. But long story short, in pro football, or really more in football, I think, than in almost any other sport, an event, good or bad, can put you in, I'm winning, and it can put you out.
Yep.
And Joey screwed up. He screwed up, and I think most people who are watching this know what that is. But long story short, he was not pleased with a lack of call that may or may not have been accurate. And
I don't. Just to be fair, I don't think it was any more egregious than many other missed calls. It wasn't like insanely egregious.
Well, that's why I said may or may not.
Yeah, was he held? Probably. Have I seen that not be called in the NFL 15 times in any game?
Exactly, exactly. And he flips out, throws his helmet not once but twice.
Yeah.
Refs have no choice but to call a penalty on this because you cannot do that.
Yep.
He's not a rookie. He knows you can't do that.
He can do that on the sideline. He can't do it on the field.
Which he did.
Which he did. He was like 4 feet from the sideline. But yeah.
So his penalty was pretty much cost his team the game.
Yeah. Well, Chargers are going to charge him whenever they can do.
Yeah. So like this is what I like to call an obituary moment. You know, when he passes away, this is going to come up. Now, this puts him, so a player who's pretty good, could be a future depoy, maybe not, but
he's at least, it would be crazy if he ever won it.
Right. So, but now he's in a position where he's now a bonehead. And every time the Chargers stick the field, there's going to be a commentator that's going to mention that because how do you not? These are the moments that will make or break you. We've seen make or breaks. Joe Namath is in the Pro Football Hall of Fame because of what he said and backed up. One time, he is the worst quarterback statistically in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Doesn't matter. He still backed up what he said. And that's why he's there. Joey Bosa now has put himself in a position where he's got to do a little bit more than he would have had to before.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking like Myles Garrett. Remember when he swung his helmet at what's his name, the backup quarterback for the Steelers? His name is Mason.
Yeah, I'm blanking, but I know
Mason Rudolph.
In my head, but yeah,
Mason Rudolph.
Thank you. Yeah.
So he was swinging at Mason Rudolph. Every time you think of Myles Garrett, you think of that first. Now there's a similar one with Aaron Donald not that long ago, swinging at the Bengals. That wasn't suspended, but here's the difference.
He's Aaron Donald.
It has more currency built up than pretty much any player in the league right now, other than Brady.
Yeah, the only one I'd argue higher is Rodgers, but yes.
I don't think so. I think Aaron Donald's much over all the eyes of the media and the eyes of fans. I think that, I mean, I'd hear Mahomes over him, but Aaron Rodgers' star has fallen.
Okay, we're talking about first ballot Hall of Famers.
If you're just talking first ballot, yeah. No, I still say that, but I'm saying in terms of like social currency built up over his career.
Oh, social, yeah, okay, yeah, I agree.
Yeah, Aaron, I would put Brady still ahead, although Brady's had some missteps over the last few years. But Aaron Donald
Brady's
second. Brady's Brady.
Yeah.
I'd put Aaron Donald second, right? But Myles Garrett didn't have the thing. Joey Bosa hasn't done anything in the league yet. I mean, he's done a lot of things, but he hasn't done anything fully in the league.
Right, and we know how high that bar is.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
something like that, that is now his most famous play. And it doesn't matter now everything else he did to get those 4 Pro Bowls, to establish himself as one of the top guys on the Chargers defense. That is his number one thing. It's like I think you talked about Cam Newton not that long ago.
Yeah, not
Cam
diving
Newton,
for the phone.
yeah, Cam Newton is more known for that than anything else, and
He's
also
he's
whining about it after.
he's far and away the all-time leader in rushing touchdowns for QBs, like not even close.
Yeah.
Right? He's ahead of multiple running Hall of Famers in rushing touchdowns, and I don't think he's ever going to sniff it.
No, he's probably not because of moments like that. Bosa can overcome this. I don't think the Chargers are going to win the Super Bowl anyway, bluntly. Saying that,
may I remind you that they are the Chargers.
They are the Chargers, yes. So, but this is something that I think is colossally huge. It's going to dog him for the rest of his life, unless
it's going to dog him until he does something to change the narrative,
which is very, very hard.
Which is if he's defensive player of the year or one of the top, or that Chargers team wins the Super Bowl,
well, then it's forgiven.
Then it's forgiven. But that's what he needs at this point. Yeah. I didn't even think about this. This is a really good one.
Well, every now and then I come up with one.
Yeah, well, most of the times you come up with them, but sometimes I'm like, I figure this one out. This one I didn't think about at all, but it's a very good one. So
well, look at me. All right, and so with that, we always close with Evan's Hammer. Evan's Hammer. I like that. That could be a movie title. Where is the good, the bad? We're doing bad, ugly, and good, or how are we doing this?
Let's do bad, ugly, and so bad. I promise I'm not gonna go into this. I just want to say I have been on Tony Dungy as a douche thing for 15 years, and it's just shocked me this week to have the entire internet come to my side of things. Anyway, that's all I'm gonna say. But I've said enough about Tony Dungy and the history of the show. I just want to talk about Shannon Sharpe getting in, trying to start a fight with the Memphis Grizzlies during the Lakers-Grizzlies game last night.
Do you think he saw Skip Bayless in their face?
Yeah, Skip Bayless. Everyone knows my opinion on Skip Bayless as well. I rarely say anything about Shannon. But if you're a member of the media, don't try and pick fights with players while they're in the middle of the game. Like, it's
Why
just
did you do that.
So he was heckling Ja Morant, saying that Ja couldn't guard LeBron. And Ja said, F you back to him. He goes, F me, why don't you come over and do something about it? And then T Morant, who's Ja Morant's dad, they were like one syllable names in that family. And he got in a little bit of a shouting match. And then as they're going off for halftime, Dylan Brooks, who doesn't put up with bullcrap, starts shouting back and forth at him. And he has to come over, and Steven Adams comes over. Like they said in the article, it said that he sprinted over. I saw it last night. He kind of slowly sauntered in his general direction. One of those, like, I'm not actually getting in this fight, but I would like you to know that I am much bigger than you in here.
Steven Adams, for those who are not aware, you think Jason Momoa looks tough? Picture Jason Momoa on a 6-month steroid program, and you have Steven Adams.
And add 6 inches to Momoa's height.
Yes.
Like, Steven Adams, a big dude, and Australian, so he doesn't give a crap. Like,
that's very true.
He was over there telling Shannon Sharpe, like, to calm down. And then Shannon had a whole thing like, he don't want to step to the smoke and everything. I'm just like, come on, dude. Let's just not get involved. Let's not try and start fights with players actively on the court. Mm-hmm. And so T. Morant, he made up later after halftime in the third quarter. And although there was a really funny sequence where one of the Grizzlies stepped out of bounds, and Shannon sprung out of his chair at a point that he stepped out of bounds to the referee. But yeah, let's just not do that. That's all we say.
Look like a bigger clown too. Like when sometimes so he's having these things with Skip, right? And I'm no Skip Bayless guy at all. I'm a Stephen A guy.
I'm when given the choice between the two, I'm a change the channel guy. So
Okay.
so take that back. Stephen A is great, but he's doing too much. And because he's doing too much, he makes a lot of stupid mistakes that he would not otherwise be making because he has to have a take on stuff he hasn't had time to think about.
Okay, well, so let's go into that. But Shannon has now gone into that realm where he feels that he's a performer, not.
But he's always felt like he was a performer. I remember him picking up the phone, call the National Guard, call the president because we're out here killing the Patriots. Like I remember that during the game on the sideline. So he's always been a performer.
But maybe at this age he should know better.
Yeah, that's certainly true. He's what, 56 at this point, probably.
Yeah, yeah. But is his profile bigger now than when he was a player? I don't know.
I think it's probably comparable.
Yeah. So he doesn't understand.
Shannon Sharp is no worse than the fourth best tight end of my lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
I put him, Tony Gonzalez, Gronk, and you could throw in. I'm not a Kelsey guy at all.
Oh wow.
Okay. The dude can't block at all, and like I think Kelsey is wildly overrated. I'd rather have Witten, I think, than him. I might rather have, honestly, if I didn't have a quarterback like Mahomes, I might rather have Bavaro than him.
Wow.
Just because I want my tight end to do more than pretend to block and be a wide receiver. He's useless as a blocker. Absolutely useless.
Okay. I didn't see this coming today, but I like it.
Yeah, I'm not a Kelsey guy. My point is, do I think Kelsey's one of the 6 through 10 in my life? Yes. Okay. But I don't think he's top 5.
But we can't agree that Shannon's being a clown.
Yeah, and Antonio Gates is up there too, right? I would put Shannon above Antonio Gates. But yeah, I'd say he's just being a clown on this. But it's just, I think having to deal with Skip all the time has got to rub off of you at some point. You just got to act out somewhere.
He's also on TV more than he's ever been.
That's also true.
Which is sort of interesting. Like how do I put this? Does he know when Shannon on TV stops and when Shannon off TV ends?
Is there a difference?
I don't think he knows.
He's like Deion Sanders. I don't feel like Deion Sanders has a difference anymore either.
Did he ever?
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know if Shannon. I think Shannon and Deion are the same way. I think they're.
I'll say this: I was way wrong. One of my biggest errors in the last 5 years watching sports was that Deion Sanders was going to be a flop as a coach.
Yeah, he seems to know what he's doing.
Obviously, he does. Because I thought there was no way that Deion could get out of Deion, if that makes any sense.
Yeah,
I was way off on that.
He seems to know what he's doing. So
obviously, yeah. So
anyway,
to the point where I'm cheering for Colorado.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, I wouldn't have been before, but anyway. So yeah, that's a good one.
I'd actually like to go the good first this time because I think the ugly is a more in-depth story. So
all right then.
On the good side of things, just a very quick congratulations on a great career. Coming up to a man who I met once and made me feel like he was recruiting me to play for his team, Mike Bray. The coach of Notre Dame is going to be retiring at the end of the season after 23 years. Head coach of the Irish. Spectacular job. It's not an easy job to win at, and he won consistently. So I mean, just look at Boston College. What happened to it since Alex Skinner's left? Nobody's won, right? He's consistently had Notre Dame. He's had Notre Dame in the Final Four, Elite Eight. Oh, I'm sorry, he's had him at the Elite Eight. Just a wonderful job. Like I said, I met him once. My brother, as you guys may or may not know, was the
I was going to say, please say why you got a connection with Notre Dame.
Yeah, so he was the sports media director for Notre Dame. I was out visiting him after I passed, or I didn't know I'd passed. I'd taken the bar exam. I know if I'd passed it. I did a trip through the Midwest and visiting all the family I had. And when I was in Indiana, he introduced me to. He's like, "You want to meet Mike Bray?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" I went in there. He talked to me for like 45 minutes, like I was a recruit. I just felt like leaving the room. I'm like, I know why people want to play for this dude. Yeah. Like you just felt it. So just congratulations to him on a good career. But the actual thing I want to talk about is something that hasn't happened since 2004.
Is this ugly or is this still bad?
This is good.
Good.
This
Sorry.
is good.
Sorry.
Yeah. So in 2004, the fourth round of the Australian Open had Andy Roddick, James Blake, Andre Agassi, and Robbie Ginepri as four of the final 8 in the tournament, right? The final 8 or final 16, fourth round. I think it's final 16. Regardless, 4 of the 8 were Americans. American tennis has been on the decline overall.
Men's
side specifically.
Yeah.
For about 20 years, right? I mean, since Agassi retired, we've had a few people pop up here and there. James Isner's had his moments, stuff like that, but we don't have the Sampras, Courier, Agassi, Chang, Roddick era, like all those guys over and over and over again that went from McEnroe and Connors and Ash straight into that era, right? With Couriers in there as well. I messed them out, but like you can just go incredible tennis player all the way through, right? This is the first time we now actually have I know that the Australian Open is being played at ridiculous hours, even in Australia. We have Tommy Paul, JJ Wolf, Sebastian Korda, and Ben Shelton, who all are going to make their fourth round debut at Melbourne Park. Paul's 25, Wolf's 24, Korda's 22, and Shelton is 20. So these guys have a lot of tennis left in them. I have no idea what's going to happen to them, right? I mean, Agassi and Roddick are Agassi and Roddick. James Blake was a good player, never quite got where he wanted to be. Robbie Gnepri was a player. Like he was a jobber, as you put in WWE terms, right?
Yeah.
He was in tournaments, he'd go a couple rounds and that'd be the end, right? I have no idea what's going to come out of this, but it's one of the most encouraging signs for American men's tennis in a good long while.
Probably well over a decade, maybe longer.
Yeah, well over a decade.
Yep.
So we'll see what happens. But yeah, we got 4 through, which is in a major, which is something that's pretty good because we're at the point in tennis where everything's about to change. Federer's retired. Djokovic is banned from certain countries now. Djokovic is 2 years probably at the top left.
Well, your big 3 is aging out.
They're all aging out. It's going to be open. I mean, they've been dominating for 15 years. That tournament in 2004 was won by Federer. Like they've been aging out. But the opportunity's there. We'll see what happens. So, and my ugly, just because I want to talk about it, I want to lead with this trivia question for you.
Oh man, I never get your trivia question. All right,
I know. In the Premier League,
Everton.
In the Premier League, there have been 6 teams that have never been relegated in the history of the Premier League. What are they?
We've done this.
We have.
Okay, Everton's one because that was a surprise, right?
Yeah, well, that was the one that I'm going to be talking about. I'm surprised you led with that one. So go ahead.
Yeah, because like that. Okay, Everton, Man U, Arsenal.
Yep, Man U, Arsenal.
Man City.
Nope.
Liverpool.
Yep. Tottenham, and one more.
I feel like this should be so easy.
It is. You're overthinking it.
Yeah, I am. I forgot.
Chelsea.
Oh, God damn it. Okay, yeah.
So Man United, if you ask this people, most people would say Man United, Arsenal, Tottenham, Liverpool, Chelsea, and Man City. Man City had a bad decade in there before they got new ownership, right? Everton is by far the 6 of these 6 teams.
Right.
Not even close. I would say Tottenham is probably Man United, Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, Tottenham, and then Everton at the bottom. But Everton's never been relegated, and they are just a freaking mess right now. They lost
right now.
Yeah, they lost 2-0 today. They're tied with Southampton for second to last. Their next 2 games, by the way, are against Liverpool and Arsenal.
So who's dead last?
They're tied with Southampton. They're ahead on goal difference at the moment. They're a -13. Southampton's a -18, but Southampton's actually won more games than they have.
And it's
So
the bottom three that get relegated, right?
correct. Bournemouth. Well, the Bournemouth is currently in the other spot with 17 points. Wolves and Leeds also have 17. So they're only 2 out of getting out of there, or 1 win of getting out of there. But they are just an absolute and utter disaster. Their team has been showing absolutely no spirit whatsoever. Frank Lampard is the coach. He was out there consoling his team, as the best way I can say it today after their loss. And they asked the owners of Everton after the game whether Lampard was going to be fired. And the guy who owns 94.1% of the team said, "That's not my decision." Which I think a way of dodging the question, but doesn't exactly breed confidence in who's controlling the team.
That's right up there with when an NFL owner gives a vote of confidence
Yeah.
to your head coach.
Yeah, it's not good. They are chanting "Get out of our club" everywhere. Like they are in legitimate danger of going down for the first time. And honestly, probably deserve to. Leeds and Wolves are at least interesting. Bournemouth, not as much. But this team is just boring to watch. I've watched 3 of their games over the last.
And Fulham's in the middle of the table right now, right?
Fulham's 7th.
Well, they're 7th. Okay, yeah, because Fulham always seemed like that one that went back, boom, 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 boom.
Well, that's Norwich City more than anything.
Okay.
Norwich City has been promoted and relegated now. It's been promoted. I think it's 6 and 6. I think they've been promoted 6 times, relegated 6 times. The Canaries.
I maintain they should do that for college football.
Well, give them time. They talk about doing that for the MLS.
Okay, but is there a second? How are they going to do that?
Well, what they would do with the MLS, in my opinion, is you just have 2 divisions with 40 teams. And so you have 40 teams total. You do 2 divisions and you promote and relegate based off of how they do. You know what I mean?
I don't think that'll work in the US.
All right. I don't think so either, because the people who are trying to run that Super League over in Europe are all the US owners who don't want to have any relegation. That's the whole point behind it, right? So I don't know what the bottom is here for Everton. I don't know if firing Lampard, who I think is actually what?
I mean Tottenham.
I said Everton. No, Everton.
Oh, Everton. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I don't. Tottenham's in 5th. Come on.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. I thought we were talking. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know where the bottom is here, but it better be soon. I don't know if firing Lampard makes a big difference.
If I remember correctly, last year you thought they were going to be relegated and they weren't. So.
But it may be better for them. I mean, Villa was relegated close to a decade ago and has come back not as strong as they used to be, but a stronger club than they were. I wonder if that same thing may need to happen for Everton. It's been a weird year. You got Arsenal, Man City, Newcastle, Man United, Tottenham, but then Brighton, Fulham, Liverpool, Brentford, Chelsea. Like there's a whole bunch of people on the top here. The Brentford Bees up there is kind of amazing.
Yeah, they came out of nowhere. Did they not? Like they only came up like a couple years ago, no?
Yeah, last season.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Where they had that opening win over somebody pretty good.
Yeah, I wish I could remember. They've just the last 4 they've beaten. They tied Tottenham, then beat West Ham, Liverpool, beat West Ham. They lost to West Ham in the FA Cup, and then beat Bournemouth. So I mean, they beat Liverpool 3-1. I watched that game.
That was a fun show. That's why you play the game.
Why you play the game. But yeah, Everton. I have a lot of friends who are Everton fans. I'm a Leicester City fan, so we're not doing that much better. We're in 14th. But I think it's time for they may be going down, and it's we'll see what happens at that point. But just the idea, the thing that got me in them being in the ugly situation is asking the owner, 94% owner, 94.1% owner, if the manager can be fired, and him saying that's not my decision. Where are you as a club if that's the situation?
Well, apparently headed towards relegation.
That's where you are as a club. Yeah.
There you go.
So that's all I got.
All right. Well, with that, let's do a bit of promotion here. Vinny Laspinusa, who we mentioned earlier, did a great show that's now on the YouTube channel where he gives the Hall of Fame case for, and it's a great one about Kurt Flood. I'm really happy with the work he did there.
Yeah.
So check that one out. Next week, because Andrea Tessman's back from her whirlwind tour of the Pacific Ocean, where she went everywhere, and
everywhere in the Pacific Ocean, that takes a long time.
Well, that's how she didn't. When I said that, she didn't say no. So I'm just assuming that must be true. So on that other wonderful show that we do, How the Hell Did This Go #1? We look at the Osmonds and One Bad Apple. And next week we're going to look at John Sebastian, another. No, he's only one-time Rock and Roll Hall of Famer. Welcome back. So we're going to look at that. Chris Burnett and I looked at Small Wonder on This Crap Was on National Television.
Ugh.
Yes, exactly right.
Crap is the correct thing for that one.
Oh, it totally was. It was also creepy.
Yeah, creepy crap, 100%.
It was the creepiest crap I've ever seen. And Paul Lawrence and I, we also looked at the Ice Bowl in the Retro Football Review, episode 1. Check that out. I'm really proud of that. And with that,
sorry, and one last thing. I just want, if you guys didn't see our live
please, yeah, thank you.
Our YouTube live, we had 15 of us in the room talking about who we would elect to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Now, our 15 semifinalists, we cut to 13 because 2 of them we previously elected last year, and Devin Hester and who's the other one?
Patrick Willis.
We'd already elected. So we went through with the 13, had people present them, and then voted. We came up with a class of Joe Thomas, DeMarcus Ware, Albert Lewis, Henry Ellard, and Darrell Rivas. For those saying, well, hey, Henry Ellard isn't a finalist this year, we say yes because they're wrong. So Ellard is in ours, but not theirs. But it's a really, if you want to see how I think the inner workings of one of those rooms should work, I don't know if it's how it does work, because only a few people know, having ever been there, but how it should work with talking about it and going through and everything. It's a good way to see how Paul takes it, everything sort of sway a room to get people in. By the way, the other 5 people we had just out were Andre Johnson and Randall Cunningham, were literally 2 votes out, and then 3 votes out were Leslie O'Neill, Richmond Webb, and Tom Nolan. And again, you'll notice that 4 of those people were not on their finalist list either. So
it's a fun process, but I think most importantly, it's a transparent process from us.
100%. 100% transparent.
We're not hiding what we're doing. We're also working on something pretty big where we're going to do the Pro Football Hall of Fame Revisited. So look for that soon. I think I mentioned that earlier, but
you did.
I'm really proud of that. So with that, now I can close. Wherever you are, wherever you may be, stay safe, everyone. And that would be Winnie, who has some things to say in the background.
Excellent.
All right, take care.
Take care, everybody.